Okay, here is the counseling and helping professional or helping relationships for the NCE. Welcome to my channel for More Than a Therapist. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. Make sure you hit the like button so that other people can get the content as well. And I am helping Keita here. She is taking her NCE tomorrow, and I'm sure she'll be amazing, and she'll get that passing grade, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Prayerfully.
You will get it. We don't do hopefully. We know. Speaking into existence. You're gonna pass, you're gonna call me crying and screaming, I'm gonna be crying and screaming with you. But we are just going through 50 of these questions, and we're just skipping through some of the chapters within the Purple Rosenthal book, just so she doesn't get overwhelmed and feel like she has to go through all these questions, because there are like about 1,000 of them. All right, so let's start.
I always get that confused.
Okay, so for this one, it's a little tricky. So they both have the same answer. So if you look here, it's just in a different way. And I don't know, like the book has it that way, but they're both right. So you're still right in that. It's just the Adler's first, and then this one, Adler's second. So this is still the right answer. Yep, the id, ego, and super ego. Okay, got that right. Yep. And sometimes it can be hard to get confused with the parent and the adult. The parent is the one that for the ego state and is concerned with moral behavior, where the adult is more so reality based, and you'll find out furthermore too what the adult is. Okay. So tell me what made you pick that one.
Because when I seen, what is this? How you pronounce it? The complex?
OP is complex.
Yeah, leads to the development of superego. This is accomplished by identification of the parent of the opposite sex.
So if you remember, it's the same sex, right? Because Freud felt that it could be resolved by saying, "Oh, you know what? I was competing with if it was a female. Like for me, if I was competing with my mom, I realized it was for the attention of my father." So it's just identifying. So you can tell a difference between here opposite sex and then same sex. It's always going to be same sex because that's what that part is about. Same sex. So if you resolve that issue, then the only way to do that is to identify yourself with that same sex and the repressed aggression that you have, the repressed sexual aggression that you have with that same sex. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You took that one fast. I ain't had time to put in the question.
Right.
She was like, I know this. I don't even gotta think about it. Freudians refer to the ego as the executive administrator of the personality and the reality principle. Yep. See, the libido doesn't even make any sense here. Pleasure principle is id. The guardian angel of the mind doesn't make sense. So it's just like the test, right? You have one that doesn't make no sense. Well, two doesn't make any sense, which is this one and this one. Then you have the plausible one because it is part of it. It's part of the id, ego, super ego. It's one of them, but it's just not the right one. So if you exclude that one because you know it's the id, then you know it's this one. So this is how you just do the process of elimination. Right. Oh yeah, remember Thanos. How you say it? The Natos.
Thanos.
Thanos. I like say it wrong. I swear I'll be struggling. I don't know how. But he is the self-destructive one, and Eros is the love and hate.
Thanos like Marvel.
Exactly. The id is present at birth and never goes away or never matures. Yep, pleasure principle. Pleasure principle and id. Okay. If you think of the mind as a seesaw, then the fulcrum or balancing apparatus will be the ego. A therapist who says to a patient, say whatever comes to mind is practicing free association. Yep, that's correct. Yep, perfection and pleasure. Definitely wouldn't be pleasure because that's the id, and perfection is not for the super ego. I mean, it is, but it's not in that context. Morals and ethics, not plausible, not even plausible, just wrong and wrong. Yep, correct. Ah, you remembered, Keita. What does Wolf deal with?
What did he deal with?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he? I don't remember. I just know that he's not in the analytical movement.
Mm-hmm. So Wolf, he deals with anxiety and desensitization, systematic desensitization. So for like anxieties and phobias and PTSD, he uses reciprocal inhibition. So just so you can remember, like he's definitely not psychoanalytic because he deals with anxiety and phobias, PTSD, and sense and just desensitization approach. Most scholars would assert that Freud's 1900 work entitled The Interpretation of Dreams was his most influential work. Dreams mean manifest and latent content. Yep, you are on it. Yep, transference.
You got that one wrong.
Let me see. All right, so Scriber, what do you know about him?
Nothing.
Okay. Which case is not associated with the psychodynamic movement? So, do you know about Little Albert?
Isn't he the one that created? Is he like more behaviorist?
Mm-hmm.
Was he the one that with the monkeys?
No. So Little Albert is where he was trying. It's the phobia. So remember, he had the little boy be scared of a bunny.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And he said social like phobias can be learned. And so with Little Albert, he did that with him for behaviorist. And so the person who did that was, let me just Little Albert. It was with Watson, John B. Watson. So a Little Albert experiment was controlled experiment showing empirical evidence of classical conditioning in humans. The study also provides examples of stimulus generalization. So in which he used a little bunny and had the little kid be conditioned to be scared of the bunny. That created a phobia. And so he was just showing that behaviors and phobias are socially learned. So yes. Yes, all the above. Yep, I see you got that one right. Good job. Okay. Tell me what made you pick that answer.
I don't know.
Okay, so if you think of Sigmund Freud, right, and you have the id, ego, superego, and you think of the keyword is structure, right? So just focus on structure. Now you know who is this theory associated with? Which theories?
Right.
Right. So Freud had the topographical. What does topographical mean?
I don't know, girl.
It's the description of land. So remember the iceberg?
Oh yes. Oh, I feel like now we went over this.
Yes.
I remember.
Remember? Yeah. So we went over the iceberg, and you have unconscious underneath, and you have the pre-conscious in the middle, and the conscious at the top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so whenever you see topographical, you're going to think of the unconscious, pre-conscious, and conscious mind. The child and adult is not with Freud. Who is that with?
Eric. Is it Byrne?
Hmm?
Adler? Or Eric Byrne? Byrne. I don't know. I do know it. I do know it.
You do
But
know it. Try it. Try it.
I'm trying to think. Is it transactional? TA?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know that is in full in line with Freud. It's with actually yes, it's with Eric Burney.
Yeah.
So it's transactional analysis. So you know it's not with the id, ego, or super ego. So you cancel that out. This one is definitely not. We just went over that in the previous question. And ego ideal is not even plausible. It's not even so. Yes. So think of the topographical. You think of Freud. You think of the iceberg.
I
You
see
got
like
that
yeah, I seen like a whole TikTok about his theory,
one.
controversial aspect of it.
Yeah, definitely not. It's the most popular work.
I didn't know that one.
Okay. So it's all about knowing which ones or which theories, right? I'll wait for it to load. So remember I told you about Wolf, Joseph Wolf?
Mm-hmm.
What was he good? What was his theorist? What was he known for?
The little hands, the phobias.
Little Albert, right?
Little Albert, yeah.
So he did systematic desensitization, and this is how he measured it. Subjective units of distress scale. That's how he measured one's anxiety. So you know it's not with the unconsciousness, because that's with Freud. So this is the one that doesn't exist. We talk about the interpretation of dreams, and some people, and he also did hypnosis. And lists of tongue and humor, that's the Freudian slip. Remember we talked about that? So these are all common words that are connected with unconscious and Sigmund Freud. So the next one, was that clear? Did you get it?
Yeah, it was clear.
Okay.
I need to slow down. I feel I'm fast.
Just take your time and do process of elimination. I had just took the time off because I feel like you need more time to look at it. I'll take the time off for the next one. So in the counseling session, a counselor asks a patient to recall what transpired 3 months ago to trigger keywords 3 months ago. And then if you look at the options for the question, your conscious mind, it's not in the conscious mind, because if it was in the conscious mind, they would have been able to recall it without there being silence, right? Unconscious mind is not that easily accessible. Ego idea here doesn't make any sense. And remember we talked about the pre-conscious mind with the topographical with Sigmund Freud? The pre-conscious mind, that means that's like you saying, oh, I know it's right there. I could just reach it. It's in the pre-conscious mind. And all of a sudden when you're doing something and all of a sudden you think about it, bam, there it is, right? It doesn't require any kind of no real work. It just happens on its own. Right? So it's pre-conscious. Because it's in the middle between unconscious and conscious, but it's not completely either both. So just remember that. Not to the timer off. Sound like you got it right, even though you was like, I don't know. All right, so unconscious process which serves to minimize anxiety and protect the self from severe ego demands are called the ego defense mechanism. And that's only because the defense mechanism tries to accommodate for what the id wants and what the superego feel is morally acceptable. So instead of overwhelming itself, the ego puts up defense mechanism to say, "Oh, I'm going to avoid this from the id because it's not acceptable," or I might do a little bit of what it wants, but also be moral about it. That's like saying, "Oh, I want ice cream. I wish I could take the whole thing from the store, but I'm only going to just get one cup of ice cream." But the defense mechanism just kind of like helps to defend yourself from being emotionally overwhelmed, if you think about it like that, because the demands are so high from the id and superego. Still to the tongue, we know that's with Freud, the Freudian slip. The id defense mechanism, the id doesn't have any defense mechanism. The id does whatever the hell it wants to do, right? And latent dream is it's with Freud, but it's like the dream context. It's not anything to do with, it's still with the unconscious, but it's not with the id and superego demands. It's just understanding what your dreams are about. So
Okay.
yep, you got that one right. Repression. Good job.
Yep, I remember that one.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Oh, let me take the time off. I forgot. There you
Ciao.
go. So do process of elimination right now.
I said no to all of above.
Okay.
No to suppression is stronger.
Right.
And repression is automatic or involuntary. So I'm repression. So I'm kind of confused between the two. So I'm like, okay, repression is when you repress your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But it could happen from childbirth, from you being a child to now. You can suppress things if you are exposed to some form of trauma, I guess. So I'm gonna go with suppression only. No, it don't occur in childhood. It don't only occur in childhood. Okay, so repression is automatic or involuntary.
Yes.
I think for me, what messed me up, I said, okay, suppression does happen in childhood, but the only occur
Mm-hmm.
in childhood. That's not true.
Right. See how you did that? Because it's always going to be one plausible answer, but the one is going to be the best answer. Because repression, it doesn't just occur in childhood. You can repress memories throughout your life. You can repress something that happened to you a week ago or a day ago, only because it's really the emotions are too intense for your mind to process. Right? So you did great with that because suppression is not stronger. All the above does not fit it. Repression only occurs in children when we know that's not true. And so the best answer you chose, which was correct, repression is automatic. When you say automatic, sometimes we don't even know we're doing it. Because repressed memories are something that is actually automatic. We don't know we're doing it. It's in the unconscious mind. And if you go back to Sigmund Freud, that's where all the repression and sexual aggression comes from repressing how we truly feel with the opposite parent because we want to be sexually involved with that person, right? So then it goes right back to that being the most the most I guess like the drama field in regards to no one truly believes that about what Freud said. Like it's the one that causes the most like controversy. So you did the right choice. Was that helpful though? Like just thinking about it and like processing it.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, I just need to slow down.
Mm-hmm. And I took the time off so that way you don't have to feel. And then like I can always hop in and be like, which one do you think is outrageous? You know. So we'll do that for the next couple of questions.
So it's not suppression.
Mm-hmm. Not suppression.
Rationalization, when you rationalize your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Displacement is when you, I always get it confused with something else, with reaction formation. Displacement is when you, is it like when you place how you feel to something else?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like when you put your anger on something else. If you're mad about something, and then you don't take it out on what you're mad about, you displace it on somebody else.
So is it, so it's between displacement and sublimation.
Right, but is he taking his anger? An aggressive man who becomes a professional boxer because he is sadistic is displaying.
Displacement.
Well, try to see.
Or the sublimation.
It's either this sublimation or you know what sublimation means. Sublimation, if you think about it, means substitute. Is he
Substance.
substitute? Yeah, that's how I remember it. Is he substituting something for something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good way to remember substitute.
Mm-hmm. It's when you substitute how you feel and you use something else that's morally acceptable because he can't go out being aggressive to people. And if he's a boxer, he can substitute his aggression and use it for something else that's more morally acceptable.
Mm-hmm. Okay, none of above is out. Repression is out.
Well, read through all of them first. Go ahead. Keep going. So you say sublimation is out,
Mm-hmm.
repression is out,
Yeah.
and then what about introduction?
That's the answer. Oh, is it?
What does introduction mean?
Something inward.
Right. So is this person introduction means like a reflection inward, like you're self-reflecting. Um, so is this person self-reflecting?
No.
Okay. So then what else would it be? Introduction is a defense mechanism. It's a one of the many defense mechanisms by Sigmund Freud. Occurs when a person internalizes ideas or voices of other people. So that person's not doing any of these things. So remember, introduction means it's by Sigmund Freud, occurs when a person internalizes the ideas or voices of other people. This behavior is commonly associated with the internalization of external authority, particularly that of parents. So, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, sounds like you got that one right. Yep, displacement. Taking his anger out from his boss and yelling at his wife. Type 2 error is not it. That's statistics. Identification. That is, and that's how you identify with yourself. Denial is, of course, denial. Not identifying the true reality or not accepting it.
Student tells about counseling.
Oh, I forgot to take time off. My bad. All right, we just go through it real quick. Go ahead and read through it, and then you can tell me which one you think. You can look at the screen.
I thought it was an introjection.
Mm-hmm.
Reaction formation is when you basically. I don't remember.
You said reaction formation.
Yeah. Is it like basically? Is it like basically? What is it? I know it. I got it. Reaction formation is basically like you feeling you're doing something that you really don't think you should be doing, but you're doing it anyway.
It's close. So it's like saying like, oh, I'm gonna commit suicide, but you really want to harm the other person.
Okay.
So it's like the tendency of repressed wish or feelings to be expressed at a conscious. So like saying like, oh man, what if I fall? And they'd be like, well, what if he fail? So it's like doing to yourself what you wish to do to other people, pretty much.
Okay. So that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
The sour grape rationalization and the sweet. I just remember. Okay, let me slow down. Hold on, let me move this over. So the sour grape rationalization is when a person, like I think I seen something like when the girl was happy to be at work, she's trying to sweat to lose weight or something like that, so she kind of be in a sweaty room or something like that.
Oh, it's similar. That's one of the things. So sour grape, if you think about it, it's used when someone adopts a negative attitude to something because they cannot have it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So a sweet lemon is rationalize a situation that they really don't like.
Oh, so like this. Okay.
So the lady you talking about, she had to work in a new job where they didn't have any heat. It was really hot. And she was trying to rationalize it by saying, you know what? I need to lose weight anyway, so it works out perfect. So she's trying to make the best of the situation, even though it's really not that great. But the sour grapes is saying, oh, if somebody else got a bike for Christmas and I wanted to bike, and then I'm like, oh, I never wanted to bike anyway. It's sour grapes because though I'm saying it, I really do want it because I can't have it.
Right. So his situation was sour grapes.
Yep.
Rationalizing.
Yep. Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah, we were just talking about this.
Yep. Yay! So the short way to think about it is sour grapes can't have and sweet lemon making the best of a situation.
You said sour grape what?
Sour grapes meaning you can't have something. So it's like saying like you can't have it. So you're sour. You're a sore loser. You know what I mean? You're sour. That's why I said sour grapes. And sweet lemon, like we already talked about, is just trying to make the best of a situation, even though it's not ideal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A teenager who
Yep, no. Good job.
boy has to before a mirror, hoping mirror, but thinking you are looking at the window.
Yep, projection. And we just talked about that too. Because you know it wasn't denial. Sour grapes does not make sense, and repression definitely.
Margaret's obsessed with Let me move this over. Margaret is obsessed with reaction formation.
Okay.
I feel like some of the question missing. But no, I had to read it like 3 times. Like, what?
No, you have to process it. That's what that is. Because you know it's not a projection. He's not projecting how he feels to other people. It's not rationalization. It's because he's not trying to rationalize. In a sense, he is, right? But it's not the correct definition. Reaction formation is doing something in a sense that's more acceptable. So he's reacting in a more accepted way, if you think about it that way. Reacting in a more social way that's acceptable. So if I like to see dead bodies, I go work at a morgue, right? Because it's more acceptable. Because I can still do what I want, but I'm not being judged by it. Okay, let's look at that.
Compensation. That's right.
Is it the one for the guy at the gym, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ted always felt inferior intellectually. So that's your keyword, and felt inferior intellectually. He currently works out at the gym at least 4 hours daily and is taking massive doses of dangerous steroids to build his muscle. So because his inferiority, he feels that he can compensate for his inferiority in intellectual abilities by building his muscle. So he's, remember how I say, yo, you're just overcompensating.
Yeah.
Right. So just keep in mind with that. It wouldn't have been reaction formation, rationalization. He's not rationalizing how he feels. If anything, he's just overcompensating for it. All right, next one. And then go over the way you're gonna eliminate the questions.
Projection is how a person feels about themselves on someone else. Introjection is how I just know that it regards to inward, something inward.
So introjection means thinking about the internal words from like your parents, the judging, and all that stuff. You hear your parents' voices in your head, so that's how you learned, right? And then identification is what?
About yourself. How you
About
basically identify, like you probably like with her, like with Jane. Mm-hmm. She's like the first thing someone's like, she's kind of like, how can I identify with her job instead of with herself?
Yep. That's a good one. Yep.
Yeah.
And just remember, introjection is the internalized voices that we hear about ourselves based on how we grew up. Projection is just actually projecting out to other people. Introjection is putting it to ourselves.
An introjection, okay, is when we like you said with the parents, when you hear a parent's voice saying like, I remember that example. I think it was like I don't remember, but I remember that example.
Yeah, just think of it like, okay, this is how. Let me go back to that. It's occurs when the person internalizes ideas or voices of other people. For example, like your parents.
Yeah, like if your parents is hard on you. I think I remember reading something like an Indian guy.
Or like, or your cousins or anybody who voices are in your head. All right.
Client who has incorporated his values into stock pattern. Displacement, no. Repression, no. Introjection.
Yes. See how that worked?
Yeah, I need this energy in my test.
Yo, you gonna have this energy in your test? What you mean? Speak on it. You're gonna have this energy in your test. Take your time. Read the questions. If you need to read it more than once, read it. Check out the keywords. Make sure you just know as much as you can about which ones you know are not associated with the statement. And you're doing great so far.
Client's tendency to inhibit or fight against the therapeutic process is known as resistance. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Fight against. Inhibit or fight against the therapeutic process is known as resistance. It's definitely not substituted for anything, not projecting how you feel someone else, not individualization. So, no. Correct answer is resistance.
Frey has been called the most significant theorist in entire history. Many aspects of his theory are difficult to test from a scientific standpoint. Okay, he was not pro-female. He had not failed to emphasize sex. And I never even heard of that taboo. So I'm going to go with that one.
Yep. know, you got that passing magic. I feel it.
The purpose of protection and counseling is help the therapist appear genuine. No. Make the clients aware of their unconscious processes. Make the client aware of nonverbal what's thing got away behaviors. No. Help the client understand feelings and behaviors related to childhood. No. I don't know this one. But I'm gonna go with what I think it is.
Which one you think it is?
Make the client aware of their unconscious processes.
Check it and see if you're right.
Okay.
Don't second guess yourself. You did it. See? You said I didn't know it, but you knew it.
I mean, Oregon.
Organ inferiority relates mainly to the work of
Adler.
yes. Because if you remember, when he was a really sickly kid and he had some issues with his organs and he felt inferior to other kids, so his idea was thinking that people strove for like to be superior, and because he had organ inferiority, he felt like he was that of the latter. Good job.
What? That was what? Heretofore unknown counselors refer to it as when a client becomes aware. Oh, insight, aware.
Mm-hmm. Great job. Look at you. You picked up that key word, aware. Awareness. Insight.
Beyond the founder of analytic cycle, men operate on a it's not transference and countertransference. That's out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not reality and pleasure. I'm gonna go with logo and arrows.
Mm-hmm.
Logic and more. What was the other one? I don't remember.
What?
I just know that women operate more intuitive. It say operate on a logic. So I just know that's logos.
Mm-hmm. Meaning that they act on men are more logical, like just pretty much what it is. They're more logical, women are more intuitive, meaning have more feelings, react on emotions, versus men act on logic and principle. Yep. You say I don't know.
Young, use strong imbalances. center point to analyzing himself, his clients, and his dreams. He called this. Ooh. Oh, I remember. It's the Mandelas. It's like a Greek. Isn't it like a Greek word or something? I don't know.
Yep.
I gotta stop saying I don't remember. I remember.
Thank you. Don't talk down to yourself. Your brain gonna believe it, even though it's not true. Your mind's gonna believe what you say. You know it. Look how you did that. You had that in your what memory? Your preconscious.
That's true.
Your preconscious. Sigmund Freud. Topographical.
Blank emphasize to drive us. Adler? I don't know. Constructivist therapist. Freud and Jung. Oh.
You
So
said
Freud?
Adler?
I'm saying Adler.
Okay.
Same
thing.
Yeah.
He felt inferior because of his organ issues, and he strived to be superior by trying to get better. You go say, I don't know again.
The statement similar in Adler.
Go ahead.
Because a sibling.
You killing it. Told you.
Child, I'm gonna be killing it tomorrow on this test.
You going to be killing it tomorrow on your test. What do you mean? What I say? Positive thoughts. I want you, when you get there and you get that pen and pad or whatever they give you, you're gonna write down, I got this. Like, give yourself some motivation words to look at. That's what I did on my test.
In contrast to Freud and all Freudians emphasize with Freud and all Freudian emphasize social factors. Social factors?
Check and see if you're right.
Sorry.
Well, hey, they're like, so baseline measures, no. Statistics. And then unconditional positive regards is Rogers. Insight is just being aware, right? You're talking about neo-Freudians. You're talking about people that were after Freud who felt that there wasn't any social factors added to his theories.
Yeah.
Bam. That's how you get it.
The term introversion and extroversion are associated with Jung.
Check and see.
I just know it wasn't Adler and Freud. It was psychoanalysis.
Yeah. See how you.
I need this energy tomorrow. Like
Not to me in the back of your mind. Like, get it. The process of elimination. You got this. Take your time. Like, I'm gonna be screaming. I'm gonna give you some affirmations right before you go in.
It was noted by a Freud hater. Wasn't noted for a hater. Created the hierarchy of needs. No. Hierarchy of needs is mad. What is it? Not mad. Is it Donald? Super? I don't know.
All right, so you went over created transit. Did Rudolf Druckers create TA transactional analysis? Or the TAT? The TAT means it's a measuring tool that's used to measure your thinking. So let's just go over it. TAT.
That is TAT is, I know it.
So TAT is a design that's used to reveal an individual's perception of interpersonal relationships.
It's called a thematic test, right?
Thematic appreciation test.
Mm-hmm.
Thematic I keep on saying it wrong. Thematic perception test. Fuck, I can't even say it right, and I'm cursing on the thing. But it's thematic perception test. A perception test. There you go. I don't know why I'm saying that so wrong. It might be my coffee. Okay, so now we're gonna go over this one. Was the first to discuss the use of group therapy in private practice. Now, if you look at Adler did what with children? He worked in a group, right?
Yeah.
He did group work with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at here, Robert Duker, could he have done group therapy if he was one of his students? He probably practiced the same way he did.
Right.
Now, we know it's not Freud because this don't make any sense. And the creative hierarchy of needs is Maslow.
Maslow, that's what it was.
So the best choice is here. It's the second one.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
So when you say I don't know, think about what each one means. If you can remember what each one the options mean. Some of them, like, was a noted Freud hater, does not make any sense. And those are the kind of questions that's literally going to be on the test from what I saw. Because some of the questions you'd be like, huh? Who put this on this test? Right. So it's always going to be 2 heck no, 1 plausible, and 1 best answer.
Adler emphasized that people wish to belong. This is known as collective unconscious. That's not Adler's, right?
So I'm not sure the time is off. Okay, so elimination. If you look at the first one, you say is it plausible or is it not at all?
Plausible.
If you think about superiority, who do you think about? Adler, right? Okay.
Right.
All right. So if you look at the question, it says Adler emphasized that people wish to belong, right? So
yeah.
Second one is social connectedness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that plausible?
Yes.
Or no? Okay.
Yes.
So the collective unconsciousness, we know that's Sigmund Freud.
Right.
And animus, we know that's not connected with it either. So it's between A or B. So if you look at the keyword, wish to be alone, which one you think will be the best answer? Social connectedness or superiority? Because if you think it's superiority, that means you want to be above everyone, right?
Right.
You don't want to belong, you just want to be above. But if you want to have social connectedness, you want to be socially connected to other people to belong.
Right. So it's social connectedness.
Mm-hmm. See how that happened?
Yeah.
Okay. So it can be hard to get wrapped up if you think about what the word means. It's like, I'm superior than you. You don't identify with me. I don't identify with you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what this the key word in here is paradox. Paradox meaning something that doesn't make any sense, or something that actually defines what the actual outcome is, or what the situation is.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at all the options, and we'll start from the first one, exaggerate the behavior and really do a thorough job of shaking in front of the class. Second one, practice relaxation techniques for 10 to 20 minutes before giving a speech. Now we know that B is for like grounding. It's a type of intervention therapists use, right? So it's not really with Adler because he hasn't mentioned doing relaxation techniques and grounding techniques, right?
Right.
Practice rational self-talk. If you're looking at the situation, he's not asking him, well, to give his presentation and fear in class to practice self-talk. But it could be possible. And practical rational thinking could be possible too. But if you just remember this keyword, paradox, it means to exaggerate the behavior and really do a good job because you're thinking in a paradoxical way. Like, how is that helpful to me to do that? That's so paradoxical. But he's he's actually telling him to do that so he can see how irrational his fears are by doing them. So it would be A.
Come on, break down.
Break down. I was doing a robot, but you can't see that because my So if you think, like, how paradoxical was that? Like, meaning, how helpful was that I'm doing that? Why would I be exaggerating? And the other keyword is exaggerate. If you think of paradox, keyword, always see exaggerate, they're together. Because you're exaggerating what you're afraid of.
Right.
So there you go.
No, well, that's society calls men to deny their freedom side, known as enema.
You got it. Last question here.
Young spoke of collective unconscious calling to all men and women the material that makes up the collective unconscious, which is passed from generation to generation, is known as hierarchy of needs. That's out. That's Maslow. Paradoxical. That's out.
Yep.
Doing something that you that's fearful.
Exaggeration. Yep.
Yeah. And instinctual. That's out. So how do you have archery? How you pronounce it?
Archetype.
Sorry.
Just say it with your chest. I'm gonna pass. You did so good. It won't give you the official score, but it was only like 4.
4 wrong?
Yeah, 4.
Bad.
So you did really good. So yeah, how you feel about it?
I feel like I need a refresher, but I'm gonna do a little refresher of this section. And just go from there. I mean, tomorrow is the day.
Yes, tomorrow's the day. And instead of saying I need to do a refresher, you can say I did good. Like, I mean, hello, 4 out of 50.
Yeah,
that's amazing. And this is one of the sections where it's going to be on there the most is helping professionals. So that's really good. What I would suggest, if you do want to go back to them, I can send you the ones that you got wrong. That way you don't have to go back through all of them, and you could just review those.
Okay.
So I'll do that. So I'll end this one and see if I can keep the score. And then I will, I'm gonna end it now. And then it'll tell me the results. And then I'll send you which ones were, yeah. So, of course you won't use by yourself. Thank you. Thank you. So the ones you got one. It's not even moving together. It's so weird. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5. All right. So I don't know what this little exclamation mark is, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna email it to you now.
Okay.
And let me turn this. Let me turn the recording on so you can keep your email private. But thank you all for who took time to listen to this study session right before her NCE. She did great. I know she's gonna do even more amazing tomorrow because I can't wait to hear after she takes her exam, her NCE exam. But thank you for joining, and we are gonna probably go right now to test.com, take a little break, and then come back to review the questions from test.com website. Make sure you like and subscribe if you like the content, and we'll see you at the next session.
Bye.
Bye. All right, let me log out of here.
Child, you seen that girl post?